Vietnam's fairy tales, the tale of the kitchen gods. In the old days, there were a poor young couple who made their living as hired laborers. Although the life was so hard, they loved each other very much. Very often after coming home from work in the late evening, the couple sat together by the fire or in the moonlight, telling each other stories of the day or singing love songs. The great happiness made them forget dinners many times. Once came a year of crop failure. It was so difficult to earn a living. Famine was everywhere. The couple kept their own jobs of looking for work in rich families, but few people wanted hired laborers then. The fact that there were too many hired laborers and borrowers in the scarcity of price made jobs become very difficult to squeeze in. Moreover, the gates of rich houses were often closed tightly to prevent people from disturbing them. The situation was destitute. The couple had to seek for fiddle crabs and snails, dig in the hard soil for edible plant roots, and pick vegetables to eat. Although it did help a little, the situation was still bad. Death always threatened them because the famine lasted long. One afternoon, after hastily sipping bowls of cotichchotre soup, the man told his wife, "I must go somewhere else to earn money. I can't stay home." Hearing so, the woman demanded to follow her husband to live or die together, but the husband said, "I don't know yet where I'm going or what I will do. It's easier for you to stay home and carry on. Life with me will be hard. You know, I may lie down somewhere along the way and let the bus come morning on me, or I may bring back home a lot of money for you." "Oh dear, that to be the fate. Let's wait for me for 3 years only. If I do not return by the end of 3 years, it means I may have died somewhere already. You go ahead to get another husband." The wife wept bitterly as if she was in mourning. However, not knowing what else to advise, she had to let him leave. After seeing her husband off, the woman got a job in another house. Their family was not rich, but sympathetic with her situation, they helped her through the dismal days. Living with them, the woman had 2 meals a day. One was potato and one was porridge. Thanks to her agility and her grace, she won the hearts of her master. But she could never forget her beloved husband though. Time flies as fast as running water. People did not talk about the recent fish famine anymore. She waited anxiously for her husband. The grapefruit trees in the front yard had bloomed 3 times, but her husband still did not show any sign. At that very time, the master who had once supported her suffered the loss of his wife. Already fond of her, he offered to marry her, but he did not understand the heart of the young woman though. Her answer was, "My husband asked me to wait for him for 3 years. Now I believe my husband is dead. Let me stay mourning my husband for another 3 years as a wife's duty." Another 3 years passed so quickly. Not a single letter or a rumor about the ill-fated man. Every day in the twilight, she stared at the silhouettes walking down the road, and then she cried her eyes out. The other man urged her to decide. If your husband was not dead, then he must have married another woman, had another family already in some faraway region. There is no chance for your family to reunite again. It is better to build a new home with me. My effort and fortune will ensure you a happy life. She fixed a white mourning headband now faded with time, thanked him for his kindness, and begged him let her wait another year. Another year passed without a piece of news. Now she believed her husband was already dead. After offering her husband a commemorative meal and wine, as well as treating relatives and neighbors, she went to stay with her new husband. Suddenly 3 months later, her ex-husband returned to the homeland with his simple baggage. He did not seem any better off than before. What he hoped was to see his beloved wife again. But the old garden now belonged to the new owner. He muttered, "That's all. That's destiny." The fact of the man's sudden return bewildered everyone, especially the newlywed couple. The emperor's woman did not dare to meet him, but the ex-husband reached out to them and comforted them. "I've been away too long. It's all my fault. You did behave correctly. I just want to see you for a while. That's enough. Now I'm going to be away from here forever." Despite the wife begging him to stay, and the new husband insisted on returning his wife, he decided to leave. He did not want to ruin their happiness, but he did not go far because he could not forget his ex-wife. The uneasiness tormented his mind. His head was spinning and tangled like a mess. He thought of death, and then in a moment of hysteria, he hanged himself from the banyan tree by the gate of the village. That horrible death was like a thunderbolt that exploded into the woman's head. She felt herself responsible for her ex-husband's death. Why have I already waited for him 7 years, but not tried a little longer? Why didn't I see my husband when he returned? She couldn't control herself anymore. All the questions seemed silently but vehemently condemning in her mind. Then the next morning, while people were about to carry out funeral for the ill-fated man, they rushed in panic to retrieve the woman's body in the pond next to the house. The new husband, after organizing the funeral for his wife, became like a lunatic. Two deaths hit everyone's mind hard, but for him, there had never been such an intense emotion. He always cried out, "Why did I deliberately take other man's wife?" Then one day, after dividing all his possessions to the relatives and offering some to the pagoda, he took poison to commit suicide. Upon arriving to the other world, all three was brought before the court of the king's upheld for impeachment. Everyone once came here had to reveal the truth in their hearts. The ex-husband's testimony was that he could not be separated with his ex-wife. He died in the village because he just wanted to be close to her all the time. The new husband also testified that he had deep feelings for his new wife even though they had only been officially married for 3 months. When the king of hell asked him how was his love for his ex-wife, he raised his finger, comparing that one side was 10, the other side was not equal to 1 of 10. When it was the woman's turn, she confessed that her love for her ex-husband took up a wide space in her heart, but at the same time, she could not forget the warm affection of her new husband. The king of hell was moved with their story. They were rare lovers. There should be a way to make them live together forever. After thinking for a long while, the king of hell turned them into 3 kitchen gods so that they are always together with the fire keeping their everlasting love. The king also designated them the title of kitchen gods who take care of the kitchen of each family in the world.